Hey guys, welcome to Vlogmas day 4. Today I'm doing a declutter because I did a makeup collection like a couple months ago and I decided to do a declutter now. So I have these makeup here, and basically here is like the makeup that I brought back from Georgia. So I do use everything in here. So I think I'm gonna skip over these, but y'all would have seen these in my collection. So I think I'm just gonna skip over these. Eventually I am gonna be doing an everyday get ready with me, and I'm gonna be pretty much using all these products anyway. So you're gonna end up seeing it in some other video. So we're just gonna move this out the way and then go into the actual collection because that's where I have to actually declutter. So I have this whole area. My acrylic, I guess Kylan put them up here because they were not here before, so obviously we're not gonna go through that. And my eyeshadow palettes, I'm gonna be honest with you, I have an attachment to eyeshadow palette, so I probably won't be getting rid of any of them. I'll still show you my eyeshadow collection like in the end of this video. I'll put a timestamp in the description so you can click on it if you want to just see that. For everything else, we're gonna declutter. So I guess I'm gonna start with this side, and over here has my concealers and like eye stuff. I know I'm gonna get rid of like pretty much all of this because I don't use any of this. I have the Tarte Shape Tape Shade Light Sand. It's too light, so that's gonna get rid of. These NYX HD concealers, 2 of them I believe are in deep golden, and then 1 of them is in tan, and they're also too dark for me. Then we have this CoverGirl Clean Fresh one, and do you see how it looks really liquidy inside? It's nasty. And then we have the Maybelline Master Conceal in light medium, and it's also too white. I'm getting thrown away. We have this L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow concealer. It's too dark. We're gonna get that thrown away. This one I just bought, which is the Revlon Color Stay Awakening one, so I'm gonna keep this just because I have used this and I know it's my shade. Then we're also gonna get rid of this Maybelline Super Stay Better Skin in the shade medium because it's old. And then we're also gonna get rid of this LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade medium beige. It's also old. So from concealers, I got rid of all of them except for one. Now in here, I'm also gonna be getting rid of stuff. Oh, this is the Milk Cushion Mascara. We're gonna get rid of because I don't need it. This is the Kat Von D mascara, which I'm gonna keep because the mascara is good. Then these are pretty much like all eyeliners. Okay, these I'm gonna keep them, but they're gonna move. We have this Profusion. This is a brow pencil and it's brown, so this obviously not gonna work for me, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Eye pencil by Profusion also. How does this look? Sorry if anything changed, but I had to put my camera on a tripod. I guess it still works, so we're gonna keep this, and if I don't use it then I'm gonna get rid of it. But honestly, I don't really use eye pencils, so don't know why I'm keeping it in the first place. LA Colors eyeliner. I know this is really old. Okay, that feels really dry. Yeah, that's really dry, so I'm gonna get rid of this one. It also has no name and it's based. Ooh, actually that one's really smooth. I probably will keep this one. And then I have this Tarte one. Sorry for anything's like out of focus. Yeah, that's going in the trash. So from that, I'm keeping 3. Now back here has eyelash curlers, which I'm gonna keep. Actually, I need to take this with me to Georgia. Morphe Ashley Strong palette, and I really like it, so I'm gonna keep it also. And then I have a sponge back here, which I'm gonna get rid of because I don't use it. So yeah, this one we pretty much got rid of basically everything. Next up, we have highlighters. And highlighters, I used to be a big collector of highlighters, but now I've stopped wearing highlighters like on my cheeks and just barely like use it on my nose, sometimes on my cheeks if I feel like it. So like majority is should be thrown away. I'm gonna start off with the ones that I'm not throw away. So the Essence Pure Nude highlight, it was good like when I first had it, when I didn't have any highlight at all, but now that I have a lot, I don't use this at all, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Then I have this Makeup Revolution Vivid Bakes highlighter, also gonna get rid of because first of all, the packaging, I hate when the packaging breaks like this. It's an okay highlight, but I just have like better. Like this kind of feels powdery. I'm also gonna be getting rid of this Elf one, Pink Diamonds. I remember I really wanted this when I was into makeup. I really wanted this one. If you need an affordable pink highlight, it's good, but all my highlights are pink. I like wearing pink makeup, so basically all my makeup is pink, so I don't need this anymore. Then I had this Anastasia one in Iced Out. It's really pretty. I have used it a couple of times. I really like the sheen. Like, yeah, I really like that, so I'm gonna keep this. Then we have the Urban Decay one, and this is really metallic and it's in the shade Sin, and I remember I liked this one, but I haven't used this in a long time, honestly. Okay, that's really pretty actually. If you want like a white one, that's really pretty. I'm gonna keep this. Now this is the Dose of Colors one, and this is the other pink highlight that I was talking about, that like I bought a whole bunch of pink highlights, and this is in the shade Dream On, and it looks like that. It is really pink, but see how it's more like shiny, I guess, and it's the top one. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one also. I'm not doing too good on this. Then I got this new highlight from Tarte. It came in like a 5, the blush set, and this is in the shade Fantasy, and I haven't used this. Actually, I think I've used it like one time, but since then Oh, that's a pretty rose gold. Okay, we're gonna keep that. Tarte highlights are like my favorite. I'm actually painting one right now, which is in my everyday makeup. Then we have the Artist Couture loose highlight in the shade Illuminati, and I got this as a sample, and honestly I really like it. You barely need any. Okay, that was a lot actually. I don't know, I like using this on my nose, so I'm gonna keep it, and it's small too, so it doesn't really take up space. So these are two Makeup Revolution liquid highlights. The top one's in the shade Rose Gold and the bottom one's in the shade Liquid Luminous Gold, and I got these as gifts from my cousin. So if they're gifts, I'm not gonna get rid of them just because I feel bad that they spent their money on me and I'm not using it. Even if I don't use it, I'm gonna keep it until I eventually use it. So I'm gonna keep these just because they're a gift. Aurora Glow Kit, bought it. I originally went to get the sugar one, but they were out. But this one has become my favorite from the two that I have. As y'all can tell, Lyra is really used. Basically all my shades are really used except for like Helia. I really like it, so I'm gonna keep it. Then I had this Kat Von D Alchemist holographic palette. I don't remember using it too much, but I know they're like, I'm pretty sure they're like dupes for this. I'm pretty sure like they're the same colors. Actually, let me swatch one. I'm gonna swatch this one, which is called Green Emerald. So it looks like that. Now I guess we're gonna swatch Helia. Oh my god, that green is really green. A little green. Okay, yeah, they're different shades. Okay, I really like this green actually. In like person, it's really green. Okay, it's like falling off, but that's because I put too much. So I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it, okay? If I don't use it, then I'll get rid of it. Next up, we have the Tarteist Pro Glow palette. And I used to use this shade religiously. I haven't touched it in a long time. Honestly, I haven't touched this palette in a long time. Stunner is my favorite highlight from Tarte. So I kind of want to keep it because I'm almost out. It's really a pretty shade. I don't know. I want to keep it. I want to keep everything. Okay, I'm gonna keep it, but just because I really like this shade and that shade. If I don't end up using this, then I'll get rid of it. Illuminating palette, and I'm gonna be really honest with y'all. I got this like in 7th grade, and I didn't even buy it, and I never used it. I don't know why I took it. I just wanted more makeup in my collection. Bro, what is that? Y'all seen me swatch that? That's nothing. Okay, this looks like powder. It looks like a setting powder. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get rid of this because this looks like setting powder. Lastly, we have the Anastasia Glow Kit in Sugar, which is the one that I really wanted really badly. And look at how much I've used it. Not a lot. Not a lot at all. But I remember Starburst and Gumdrop was my favorite because they're pink highlights. Like, do you see how pretty that is? Like, I love that shade. Also, Butterscotch wasn't too bad. I remember liking that one too. Yeah, I need to start using these more. I want to use them up before they go bad. So I guess I'll be keeping this also. So sorry if it seems like I just kept high-end and got rid of like drugstore, just because drugstore I've had for the longest time. And some of my makeup that y'all see in my makeup collection is not going to be here because it's in Georgia, and if it's in Georgia then I 10 out of 10 like it, so I wouldn't even get rid of those anyways. Next up we have setting spray. I don't know if I'm gonna get rid of any. Back here is like stuff that I brought from Georgia, so I didn't mix them with my real collection. The All Nighter Urban Decay Ultra Glow, I think I would like the regular one better, but for right now I like it and it makes my makeup last. Then I have this Maybelline Lasting Fix, which I brought back from Georgia, so I'm gonna keep this. Primer water, definitely gonna keep. Love this thing. I wish it didn't get discontinued. I think that's the new one, that's like the Essence one, but I don't know. Then we have the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This one's really good also, so I'm gonna keep. And then we have this Hard Candy Stay and Slay setting spray, which is really good also. And then I have the Milani Make It Dewy setting spray, which I'm gonna get rid of because I don't like dewy lip. And then back here, I'm gonna keep everything back here basically, but I'm gonna show y'all. So I have these lashes. These are my favorite one in Hot Couture. This lash, which I know is out here somewhere because I wore makeup yesterday, so they're matte silk. Some Wet n Wild ones, and they're purple at the ends. See? And then these two are matte sheer and matte velvet. Oh, I have not worn matte velvet in a long time actually. Let me put that on top. And then these glitters I'm gonna keep because I was on a hunt for glitters in Georgia. I was on a hunt for them. So I have this Wet n Wild Fantasy Makers glitter palette, and it just looks like this. This glitter one isn't my favorite, but my favorite glitters are from Wet n Wild. But for this palette, this is not my favorite, so I don't know. But I'm gonna keep it because I was on a hunt for glitters and I do still wear glitters. Then I have this Hard Candy one. Now this glitter is called Space Candy Shimmering Shadows. These glitters are like how my Wet n Wild glitters and like the palettes like feel. So I'm gonna keep this for sure. These are my favorite out of these two. Next up I have powders, and this drawer I really need to condense because I found like my top 2 favorite powders and I've only been wearing that. So I don't really need a majority of these powders. BR setting powder, and it's in the shade Banana. And I really like this powder. I've been using this to set my face with the Wet n Wild powder, so I'm gonna keep this. This CoverGirl powder is my first like loose powder I've ever bought. It's almost out, so I'm gonna keep it so I can like finish it up. I would not repurchase this because it has like little shimmers in it. It's a little shimmery powder, but it works good. Now these ones I'm getting rid of. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte, and I've had this also when I got this CoverGirl powder, and this is transparent, and I have hit pan on it. I really like pressed powders too much, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Other one in the shade Creamy Beige, which is not my shade at all, and the cap is broken and I had to tape it, and so I hate that, and so I never use this. Then we have this Becca, the Hydro Mist one, and honestly, okay, I've used it a couple of times. Like when I first got it, the wetness like sensation got rid of it really fast. I don't know why I'm swatching powder, okay, but here we are. And then it made my skin really dry, but now I feel like my skin, I've realized like how to like combat my dry skin, so I feel like I should give this one more go, and if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna get rid of it. I have this Makeup Revolution lace baking powder, and I accidentally got the wrong shade. I got lace instead of banana, so I'm gonna get rid of this just because I don't use it and the packaging sucks. Then we have this Revlon Color Stay pressed powder, and it's in the shade Translucent. You all couldn't tell, I used to be a translucent fan. Now I'm more of a banana fan. I basically used it a couple times, but I'm gonna get rid of it. And I have this RCMA color powder, and I remember I only got it because Rachel Cantu used it, and it was so hard for me to get it because at the time I didn't even have a bank account. When I got a bank account, that's like the first thing I ordered, and I'm gonna keep it just for that. I do use it occasionally. I just also hate the packaging. Now back here has random stuff. We have the Skin Goods Nourishing Sheet Mask with coconut oil. I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't know, coconut oil just does not seem like it'd be good for my face. Dollar Tree like clay mask, and honestly I don't know if this would break me out or not. It's like a weird texture now, so I'm gonna also get rid of this. Now we have my blushes and bronzers. We're gonna start with the blush side. I believe this was my first blush, Milani Luminosa blush, and everybody loved this blush. The blush was all right at the time, but now that I realize what my favorite blush formula is, and that happens to be matte blushes, and this is like a shimmery blush, I just don't like it anymore. Like, there's nothing wrong with the color, it's more like satiny shimmery, and I don't like those type of blushes, so I'm gonna get rid of it. But I do have another Milani blush, but it's in Georgia. It's a darker color. I like that one much better. I think it's just this pink shade and shimmery doesn't like look, I don't know, I don't like it. LA Colors blush shimmer, there's no name for it. I used to use this a lot also, but like I said, it was also shimmery. I'm also gonna get rid of this because it's shimmery. Basically any shimmery blush I don't like. Now we have the Maybelline Fit Me blush in the shade 40. It's in the shade Peach, and I know I'm gonna also get rid of this blush, which everybody liked this blush also. It's really shimmery, and I just can't stand shimmery blushes. Like, the shade is pretty, but it's too shimmery. We have this Wet n Wild one, and I recently bought this like a couple months ago when I was working at CVS, and it's pearlescent pink. I don't know why I bought this blush because I think it is shimmery also. Yeah, it's shimmery too, so I'm just gonna get rid of this blush. Tarte one, and it's in the shade Exposed, and honestly this is the only Tarte one I have here. I don't like the shade. Like, I just feel like this shade would not suit my skin. Actually, I feel like this would suit my sister. On my hand swatch, it looks better than in the pan. I'm actually gonna declutter this and give this to my sister. Milk blush stick, and I got this as a Sephora like birthday gift, I believe. I've been getting back into cream blushes. Okay, that's pretty. I'm just gonna keep this one. So from my blushes, I kept one, but y'all are gonna see my favorite blush ever, like in my everyday. Next we have bronzers, and we have this Morphe Glamour bronze, and it's really big. It's in the shade Trailblazer, and honestly I don't know if I got the right shade. Orangey. I haven't used it in a long time, but now I wear a lot of bronzer now. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna keep this just because I don't remember how it looks on my face. We have this Wet n Wild contouring palette, shade Caramel Toffee, and as y'all can see, obviously I love this shade. This shade I've been starting to use now, so I'm gonna keep this. Huda Beauty glowish bronzer in the shade Tan Light, and I believe I used this like 2 times. Okay, that's a pretty shade actually. I don't know why I didn't bring it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Then we have this Fenty Beauty one, and it's in the shade Caramel Cutie. Pretty sure I've used this like 2 times also. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I don't know, bronzers are really hard for me to get rid of unless I absolutely hate it. I also really like matte bronzers too. Fenty came with it, and it's in the shade Cinnamon. It looks like this, and honestly I'm kind of confused on like how you use this because it's shimmery as a bronzer or something, or as a highlight, but I want to give it a go, but I just don't know how to use it. So if you have any recommendations on how to use this, let me know. I want to keep it. Hoola bronzer by Benefit, and I actually hit pan on this and then I repressed it so it looks like this now. Honestly I feel like I could get rid of this because this is too light. It's a top one and it's kind of blending into my skin, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Now these two I also know I'm gonna get rid of. Elf blush and bronzer duo thingy, and when I bought this I was like head over heels for it. That looks like this. Like, I use that much, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Butter bronzer. I actually broke this a couple of times, and it's shimmery too, so I hate it. So even before it was broken I used it probably like 2 times max. So again, we only kept a couple. This drawer is looking really empty. Really, my eyeshadows are down here, so I'm gonna skip this because at the end of the video I'm gonna give y'all all the eyeshadow collection. And this has primers and foundation. The Maybelline Master Prime, which used to be a holy grail of mine, one. I still really like it. I think I'm almost out, so I might as well finish it. So I'm gonna keep this Dr. Brandt Pores No More primer. I bought this at an Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, so that's why I bought it. And I haven't used it much, but I remember I did like it when I was using it, so I'm gonna keep it. I have this Wet n Wild Care Bear one. I also recently bought this and I just opened it when I got back from Georgia. I'm gonna keep it. The Milani Supercharged Dewy Primer, and I also just opened this also with that Care Bear one the same day, so I'm gonna keep it also. And now I have the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer, and I absolutely hate it. I hate the texture of this one. I'm gonna get rid of this one. The Milani Prime Correct Primer, the medium to dark skin tone, and I don't really have that much to color correct, and if I color correct I use a concealer and not a primer, so I also don't need this. Baby Skin by Maybelline, and I don't use this. I don't like the texture, so I'm gonna get rid of this. NYX Pore Filler, and I absolutely love this one, so I'm gonna keep this. Revlon Photo Ready Perfecting Primer, and I don't really like this one, so I'm gonna get rid of this. Touch in Sol No Pore Bloom Primer, and at the time I really liked it, so I'm gonna keep it. Now for my foundations, that's when I'm gonna go ham and declutter like probably all of them because I don't use them and they're not my shades. So I'm gonna start off with this one. We have the Tarte Shape Tape, and this is in the shade Deep Golden, and this is definitely not my color. Like, that is definitely not my shade. I don't know why I bought this. I'm gonna get rid of this. Makeup Revolution Foundation Stick Y445, and I believe I'm keeping this one just because I want to finish it up. It is my shade, so that's good. As long as it's my shade, I can wear it. Huda Beauty Foundation in the shade Gingerbread, and I don't think I've ever used this foundation. Oh, it could be my shade. Okay, I'm gonna keep this just for now because I'm not too sure. Now the Morphe #2 like skin tint foundations in the shade Hint of Caramel, and this is not my shade, so I'm gonna definitely get rid of it. Okay, now everything else I should be getting rid of. I had this Wet n Wild foundation in the shade Amber Beige, not my shades, I'm getting rid of. Also have this Revlon Color Stay in the shade 400 Caramel, also not my shade. We have two Rimmel Stay Mattes in the shade 302 Light Nude and 502 Warm Caramel, also not my shades, getting rid of. And then we have the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Coverage one in the shade 308, which is also not my shade. Then I have the Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation in the shade I don't even know, but it's not my shade. Then we have a Revlon Candid one, and obviously that's not my shade, in 530. And then I have the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in the shade 211, also not my shade. Then I just have this random Jergens Ultra Healing Lotion, so I'm gonna get rid of this. I have two Maybelline Fit Me foundations, also not my shade, getting rid of. My last one is this Revlon Color Stain 355, also not my shade. And then for the Victoria's Secret lip gloss, I'm also getting rid of because I haven't used it. But this Becca foundation in the shade Maple I'm keeping because this is like my foundation that I use to like find my shades in other foundations. From that I kept two foundations. Next up we have eyelashes, which I believe majority of them are getting thrown away. They're empty. So first up we have this ColourPop one in the style Bay, and there's obviously no lashes in here, so it's getting thrown away. We have these Ardell ones in this style 810, which used to be my favorite, but do you see how small they are? How were they ever my favorite? And then we have these ones that are in Natural Light Doll, which I haven't tried yet, but I kind of want to try on like a day I'm not wearing any eyeshadow. Then these two are empty. They're just matte satin and matte sheer, which y'all can tell these aren't my favorites. I'm gonna throw these away. Sephora Lily lashes, and I know these are in the style Miami, and I really like these lashes. These two are Sephora collections, and I've used them one time and I don't like them. These are the Anastasia one in the style Georgina. I have a whole bunch of pink eyeshadow on them, so I'm gonna get rid of them. And then I had these ones from, I got them for Forever 21. They're just really messed up because I washed them and I don't know how to wash eyelashes. Matte Velvet is empty. Chiffon is new, but I'm gonna keep them. Then I have matte sheer, and they look wet, so I'm gonna get rid of these. From here I just kept two, and now back here are like my empties, so I'm not gonna go through those. But here are my sponges. These are like my favorite sponges, and they're from Beauty Bakery. I'm gonna keep them. Profusion Brow Kit, and I really like it, so I'm gonna keep it. Now as for this one, these are new items, so I haven't used them, so I'm gonna keep all of them for now. Now is what y'all all been waiting for, is the eyeshadow palette collection. And just to give you all a warning, some eyeshadow palettes are still in Georgia, so I don't have all of them. The first one I have is the Makeup Revolution Sylph X palette, and it's broken, but I really like this palette. Basically for all my eyeshadows I want to pan all of them eventually, so I don't like to get rid of eyeshadow palettes. It's just packaging sucks. Now I have this new one, which I unboxed yesterday in my vlog yesterday. The City Colors Whatever Forever palette. It's really pretty shades. It's broken, if y'all can't tell. It's cracked. And then like back here, I feel like this is gonna break just like my Sylph X one, because like this is already like kind of messed up, and front here is also messed up, so I feel like this is gonna break eventually. These Sour Patch Kids. It's really pretty. I'm gonna swatch this shade that's called Total Mischief. It's like a pretty duochrome pink and blue and purple. Makeup Revolution one, Birds of Paradise, and my boyfriend actually gifted this to me. Those are two pressed glitters in Canary because that's the shade that like I look at. Okay, it doesn't look too pigmented as a swatch. Coral Crush from Violet Voss, and if y'all don't know, Violet Voss is like my favorite eyeshadow brand. So it looks like this. Swatch Papaya. Do y'all see how pigmented that shade is? Milani Luster Light, which also my boyfriend got me, and I recently tried these two on my eyes. I'm gonna swatch Swagger. Oh, actually as a swatch it looks really good. Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes, and these are the only ones that I have from her. Honestly, I have never used these before, so I'm gonna swatch this purple. I've never even swatched them either. Oh, that's a pretty purple. Wait a second. I'm gonna swatch this green one. Okay, that's like really pink. Okay, bruh, I need to use these palettes. I thought these shades were like ugly in this palette. And then I have these City Colors ones also that I also unboxed in yesterday's vlog. This is just the orange one, Hibiscus, just because like I was gassing that up. Okay, yeah, this shade's pretty. Then I have the purple one, looks like this. Next up we have the green one, also pretty. Now we have the pink one, which I feel like this one's gonna be my favorite. Sugar Pill, the Fun Size palette, which I really love this packaging, and I really got it because the names of the shadows, and I used to play games. I have the You Had Me at Hello by ColourPop, and I got this as a gift from my cousin for Christmas also. I hit pan on that shade. Then I have the Creme Shop Fruity Smoothie palette. Looks like that. It has a pressed glitter, that one. We have the Smashbox Pinks and Palms one, and this is like their like cool packaging that gives me a headache. These are just pinks and blues. Hair Bear by Wet n Wild, which is what got me into pressed glitter in the first place. Like I hit pan on that glitter shade there. Actually, let me swatch this shade for you. Oh, it's a pretty shade. And then I have City Colors Dazed, and it's just the pressed glitters here. Now we have the BH Cosmetics Takes Me Back to Brazil palette. This palette was like my first colored palette. I hit pan on that yellow, but I think I'm gonna get rid of this just because I have the Fade into Hue and it's much more pigmented. This blue shade used to have a hold on me. Oh my god, it's still pretty. Okay, why did I swatch it? Because now I kind of want to keep it. Nah, I'm not going to keep it. I'm going to declutter this one. Now we have the Violet Voss Flamingo palette. I wanted this for months and I finally bought it. Now we have the Morphe and the Disney collab. This is really pretty. My boyfriend actually really likes this one. Next up, I have the Morphe 35M, which this is like my favorite Morphe palette also. I'm actually gonna end up taking this on my trip with me. Then I have the Masquerade palette by Juvia's Place, and I've hit pan and I really like this palette. That pink is a really good pink, but it will stain your eyelid. Then I have this Color Mode eyeshadow palette, and I got this as a gift, so obviously not gonna get rid of. I finished two shades over here. I hit pan on these two here. Then I have my 3 ABH palette. Modern Renaissance was my first ever eyeshadow palette, and I'm just gonna pan this and finish it up. Even though I absolutely hate this, I do not recommend. The Prism palette is my favorite out of the 3 that I have. It looks like this. These color stories are like more up my alley. And of course the Subculture one, which nobody likes, but I actually really like. Then I have this blue glitter eyeshadow palette that has like no name. My cousin got it for me as a gift also, so I'm gonna keep it. Even though these shades are like not my go-to shade, we're gonna swatch this shade. I've never like touched it. Okay, actually that's a pretty color. Then we have the Tartlet and Bloom by Tarte. I also got this as a gift, and I hit pan and Activist. And then the last one in this drawer is the Color Workshop Sunset Hour eyeshadow palette, which is also a gift from my sister, and it looks like this. Now up here has the rest of my eyeshadow palette. Too Faced Chocolate Gold Bar palette, but they're pretty. Hit pan and Decadent. Next up I have the Sweet Peach palette, and this is also one of my first palettes. I really like this palette. This is my favorite Too Faced palette. Then I have the Violet Voss Best Life palette, and it has glitters, which I really like, and also eyeshadows, which I really like also. Milani Ungilded Most Love Mattes, which I got from my boyfriend, and this palette is like my favorite one he's ever bought me because it reminds me of the Too Faced like Just Peachy Mattes one, and I really wanted that palette but I never got it. Next up I have the Urban Decay Distortion palette, and I don't use this much, but when I do use it I love it. I have the Desert Dust palette, and honestly I feel like the formula's changed, but I bought this in California, so I'm gonna keep it because like it was my first time going to California and I bought this there. And Wild Stitch collection. This palette I've used a couple of times. I really like the glitter also. Next up I have the Zulu by Juvia's Place, and I really love this palette. That pink reminds me of Sissy from the Jaclyn Hill palette. Y'all seen it? It's like really pretty pink. The ColourPop Fade into Hue palette, which I also really like. Burn Book by Storybook Cosmetics, and I really like this palette also. I really like the packaging, so eventually I want to like finish all these eyeshadows and just keep the packaging like as a book. Next up we have the Profusion and the Mean Girls one, which my boyfriend got me. I've used Jealous a couple of times. Jealous is really good. I haven't used too much of this palette because it's new. Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and my cousin actually bought me this, and this is like not the first batch because it has names on the back. And I've hit pan on Creamsicle and Sissy. Okay, so that's the Juvia's Place one, and this is Okay, maybe it's not too similar. Maybe it's just a duochrome that makes, oh, when it looks like that, now it looks similar. Then I have the Morphe 35 eye palette, which I really like. My favorite palette because I love pastel. You can use pastels as like a transition shade. And lastly, I have the 35T Sweetest Tea palette, and it looks like this, which honestly I have not used. I do have palettes in like my new makeup drawer, like this one, and like this, and like those, and like more underneath. But y'all will see those eventually. Actually, this is not new. I can show y'all this Daisy Marquez one. My boyfriend just put it here by accident. This looks like this, and really pretty also. Lime. I actually plan to start a new series using eyeshadow palettes, so y'all will see that in upcoming Vlogmas. Hopefully you guys like this declutter. These are all the things I have decluttered. For me, it's a lot because like half my drawers are empty now. So if you guys like this video, you guys could like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Vlogmas day 5.